o'clock. We have everyone in attendance. I want to welcome Stacy Elmaris to her first board meeting. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. And we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody. Well, the first item up is going to be election of officers. So I have to refresh myself every year in how we do this. So last year I got to do it. So we have election of officers. So nominations are now in order for the office of chair. Do you have any nominations?
You like serving, John? How many terms have you served as chair? How many years?
I think two, 4 years probably. And then I did a 1 or 2 year stint, several years before that.
I moved to nominate John Carter to serve as chair.
Any nomination for me? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, looks like I'm chair by acclamation. Thank you.
Thank you.
The office of vice chair is open. Do we have any nominations? Do we have any nominations?
I nominate Ann Peterson.
Second that.
Nomination for Ann?
Or do you need a second?
No.
I'm sorry.
Nope.
Sorry, Brenda.
We have a nomination for Ann. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing no other nominations for vice chair. Ann is vice chair by acclamation. Now we have clerk. Nominations are now in order for the office of clerk.
I'll nominate Brenda Olson.
Nomination for Brenda. Do we have any other nominations for clerk? Any other nominations for clerk? Any other nominations for clerk? Hearing no other nominations. Brenda is our clerk by acclamation. Thanks. We have the treasurer's position open. Are there any nominations for treasurer?
I nominate Molly Welch.
Nomination for Molly Welch. Are there any other nominations for clerk or treasurer? Any other nominations for treasurer? Any other nominations for treasurer? Hearing no other nominations, Molly is elected treasurer by acclamation. Let's move on. Thanks, everybody. Now we get to appoint committees. You don't need to nominate for these. Welcome. So, do you want to refresh who's on these committees currently, or
Yep.
was?
Finances was Brittany, Brenda, and John. And that was also personnel, I know, American, right? And then, policy was Greg, Molly, and Ann.
Okay. Brenda, did you still wish to be on finance? Okay. Does anybody have an interest?
What's so that combines personnel, facilities, how does that work together?
with the finance committee for, we meet in March to kind of go finalize the budget before we make a recommendation to the rest of the board. With personnel, coming into negotiations.
Molly?
I can, yeah.
And I'm interested again, I don't know if we feel that the board chair needs to be there or not, but if somebody has an extreme interest in it, you know, I'm flexible too, and I can be an alternate, so. but-
It's good to have you on that one.
Okay. So, we good with Molly, Brenda, and myself on finance, personnel, facilities? Can't remember the last time the facilities committee met, but I think that'll probably come up here soon. Policy committee, Greg, Molly, Ann, still wish to serve? Is anybody interested?
Sure. Stacy?
Stacy is?
I can stand it.
Okay.
I can stay on John.
Greg,
That's okay.
and you were wishing to jump off? or-
I'll select, yeah,
Okay,
that's fine.
so we're good with Stacy, Ann, and Greg? Okay. Got that?
Do we have an alternate for personal finances?
Who would like to be an alternate for finance, personnel?
We had an alternate before, we had an alternate before because you weren't on it, and we thought the chair should be in the scoop of things, so that's why you were an alternate before. We don't need an alternate, that's why we had one in the past, because John was the alternate.
Do you think we want one since it's negotiations coming up? If somebody has a conflict, or can we change it at that time?
It's nice to have consistency when it comes to negotiations, so when you come in, you're kind of aware of what's already been discussed. So consistency is nice, so if someone can't make it, if two can make it, it's worked before. So
What if like the month before something happens and somebody's gonna end up being gone for an extended period of time?
Yep, and it's nice to have
Do we
that.
want one for
We
that?
have an alternate?
Yeah.
With the understanding that they would be a consistent fill-in for
Yep.
that time?
So who would like to be the alternate for finance, personnel?
I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're interested? Okay.
I just have to let you know if I'm not there.
Good with that, or questions, comments?
Sounds good.
Got that, Emily? Okay. All right. Next item up, let's approve the meeting agenda. Anything need to be changed, Mr. Court?
Nope, everything should be exactly how it is.
Okay. So entertain a motion to approve the meeting agenda. Motion by Greg,
Second.
second by Ann. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the agenda signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same. Agenda carries. Opportunities for visitors to address the board. Nobody's stepping up, so we'll move on. Item 7, acknowledgements. We had Sylvia Pesch and Ellie Welch. They completed the first phase of the MSBA training, phase 1, so congratulations. Are they gonna give us a rundown of how it went?
We're going to in the report when the reports come up.
Okay, not your time yet. Let's start with administrative reports. Mr. Biles, do you have a fire trip presentation for us?
Hello, if I haven't met you yet, my name is Zane Biles, I'm a choir teacher here. This year, I think it's the first time in at least 6 years that we're able to take a choir trip, so I'm really excited to take this group to Orlando. On the back is basically what I'll be running through. If you want more details on anything, I'll be happy to answer questions. So I'll just kind of be running through the schedule and what we'll be taking place. So we're leaving bright and early at 2 a.m. from the school here. We're gonna fly down there. Kids will get a chance to see the ocean if they've never seen it, get a couple hours there. We'll travel to the Melbourne Beach Crown Plaza. That's where we're hoping to do our performance for the public. Right now, it's not set in stone. We're trying to make sure we can get a piano and stuff like that, but we're hoping to perform there for the public. Our next day on Friday is the chance for the kids just to run free, have fun. That's their day at the Magic Kingdom. That's their chance to kind of explore. The next day, when we go to Animal Kingdom, we're taking a group safari, making sure all the kids get the chance to see all the animals in the natural habitats. And each kid will have to go to one performance. Animal Kingdom is great they have a lot of live performances, such as Finding Nemo, the musical, Lion King celebration, live bird show. So they have to go to at least one of those things and then kind of talk about it that night at the hotel, what they experienced. The next day, Sunday, we're going to Hollywood Studios. This is where one of our workshops comes into play. We're going to do the physics of Disney parks. This was highly recommended from one of my friends. They get to go and see what goes into this, what mathematics you have to note in order to make an amusement ride, timing for lines, all these things that go together. It's a 2.5-hour workshop. So I'm really excited to see what they can get out of that from, even though it's a music trip, seeing that side. The next day is Epcot. For those of you who've never been, it's the World Showcase. One of their assignments before we go is going to be researching one of these 11 countries that they're going to go to. They're going to research beforehand, they're going to go there. One thing that's great is they hire people from those countries in those places, so they're going to have to interview a couple people in there and say, hey, is this realistic? You know, stuff like that. And that's also our day when they get to go and make a movie at a Disney soundstage. So they get to go backstage, Disney, and they get to work with some of the best directors in that industry. They learn the music, they set it to a film, and then we get to bring that home and watch it and hopefully play it at one of our concerts. And then we head on back. So that's it in a nutshell. If there's any questions.
It's a fun trip.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
How many choir students are there in those grades?
In those grades, 10th through 12th grade, there's 80, I believe, split into two groups, and there's 48, I believe is the number that I put in here. Yeah, 48 students are signed up, and most of them have made their payments so far, and there's a list of chaperones there as well, if you'd like to look at that. No questions? All right.
It'll be warmer down there. Thank you. All right, here's your time to shine. Sylvia and Ellie.
I can start, Ellie. So, last month, Ellie and I attended phase 1 of MSBA school board training. And one thing we learned about is the role of the school board versus the role of the superintendent in a school district. So we learned that the school board's role is to govern by setting expectations, evaluating outcomes, and adopting policies, while the superintendent's role is to manage by monitoring policies and staff and providing leadership and supervision. While the roles differ, they share the same goal of high student achievement for all. Something I enjoyed about the training was the small group discussions we had in the breakout rooms, because it made having conversations with other school board members from across the state less intimidating.
We also talked about the importance of communication between not only the superintendent and the board, but everybody. It's important to keep everyone in the loop and set clear expectations. Then we went through a few scenarios like in our breakout rooms and learned about the importance of the chain of command and how it operates. And then I thought this phase of training was really interesting to participate in and see what entails when being a member of the school board.
So in the breakout rooms, they shared, they were involved in the discussion, so that was really good for them to do that. That was, a lot of people sit back and Zoom and not say much, and they stepped up, so that was good.
Yep.
Now you keep going to your breakout room.
Just some school board members from Moorhead.
For more.
And Mr. Ludick from the superintendent was in it, so.
Is there a phase 2 coming up? What is that? Is there a phase per year, or how does that work? How many phases are there for that training?
I think there are 4. And so I think we're planning on doing the second one coming up in the spring.
You guys took the virtual? How was that?
So the first one was really great. The second one was not as engaging.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't put you in breakout rooms in the second one, so.
The second one is school finance, and
Yep.
it's a lot
It's numbers.
of information, yeah. That one's good to take twice.
Okay, thank you. Move on to Mr. Martinez.
For the boss to put up the report. Lazy, but there we go, much better. Thank you. Humbling, standing up here, just gonna be to zoom in. All right, last calendar month of December, great operational month for the school district. We started our balance in our investment accounts with $5.4 million. Over the course of the month, we received $2.4 million in aid. Primarily, it was all federal aid. We pulled the remaining ESSER funds, a lot of those COVID funds that were available to us. And that is the last year to draw, so that's why I pulled the majority of it. From that, you see accounts payable of $542 in our investment account. That's just the monthly draw that I make from our investment to bring it into our checking account so we can cover all of our expenditures. At the end of the month, if you scroll to the right a little bit more, we ended our investment accounts with $7.3 million, which is a great number to have. Again, I always stress how important cash is for a school district to have to meet all fluctuations. Then we go down to the accounts there just a little bit below. Just a little bit up, right there. And if you scroll to the left a little bit, there we go, right there. Perfect. So the first number that you see there at the top, all these are our operating funds. This is practically our cash flow statement that talks about the efficiency of how well we manage our dollars in our bank account. You see that we started with $421,000 cash on hand. That's the bottom line. And you see that all the other, it's broken out from all the different funds that are within a school district setting. The general fund is always playing catch up. That's just the normal procedure. State always pays behind, but it balances out at the end of the year. We had total receipts or total deposits directly into our checking account with the addition of the $542,000 that we withdrew from our investment account of $751,000. Total accounts payable, this is all the checks, all the wires that run through our checking account of $669,000. Total payroll, it was $390,000. Adjustments, I talk about in the next page, which is pretty much the journal entry to make sure that I balance the books. There was a quick journal entry from some checks that we voided that I had to set back into cash from our accounts payable, and I'll show that in the next page. Total cash on hand at the end of the month was $114,000. Again, very good operational month for the school district. Coming up in the month of January is one of our very busy months. We have two big things happening. First thing is we have our annual bond payment, and that's close to about $1.8 million. This is where we pay all of the building debt that we have. In addition to the maturity date of the building bond that we refinanced 2 years ago comes due. So that means that we're gonna take $15 million that we refinance and then pay the old debt, and then the new debt will come in effect. And this is the one that gave our general public significant decrease in their taxes, in addition to gave us the flexibility to be able to issue the abatement bond for the construction of the parking lots. So all of that will happen behind the scenes at the end of January, which I'll set and just kind of oversee to make sure that everything goes properly. We'll go on to page number 2. Page number 2, this is that journal entry to make sure that the books balance. Again, is simply putting cash back into our general cash account from our accounts payable due to a old age check that was in cash and we had to void. So that's what it is. The remaining pages in the report is all of the payables that go through our checking account. So if you guys have any questions regarding payables, type of payment, let me know and I can provide additional detail. Yeah, December, pretty good month. Do you guys have any questions regarding the treasurer's report for the month of December? Alrighty, well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Superintendent, Mr. Korf.
Okay, just a quick reminder with snow days, if we have any snow days, we've used up the 3 days that don't have to be made up, so the snow days 4 through 8 will be e-learning days. So both schools have been working on that in the communication with students and parents. Tonight you're going to approve, or we're recommending you approve 3 policies, policy 101, 103, and 104. Now it is the first and second reading for the policies. Just a reminder, when we do first and second readings, it means that there's minor changes in the policies. So in policy 101, legal status of the school district, purpose of this policy is to clarify the legal status of the school district as a state function entrusted in state legislature. So there's only changes of spelling of the statutes in this one. Policy 103, complaints, students, employees, parents, and other persons. The purpose of this policy is to provide the district with a procedure that may be used to ensure all concerns or complaints by students, employees, parents, or other persons are taken seriously. So very minor changes in this policy 103. Policy 104, only changes are the removal of 2 references. And the purpose of this policy is to establish a clear statement of the purpose of the district. And everything should be updated there with our beliefs and everything like that. So that will be on the agenda for you to approve. The other item and business item is to approve the resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions. This is yearly, do this every year in January. Our administrative team over the next couple months will be looking at the enrollment for the future, and then looking at our staffing, and then we would make any recommendations for any staffing changes if needed. Another item on personnel tonight, and under consent items, is approving the resignation, that we recommend that you accept that. And then approve the hire of Steve Barsness as the full-time custodian. Just a reminder that we had a custodian resigned here last month, and that would be filling that position at the high school. Looking ahead, January 16th, we have a teacher workshop on January 16th. There will be no school for students. February 17th will be no school, and then February 20th will be parent-teacher conferences. Just a reminder of parent-teacher conferences. Elementary will be from 12 to 6, high school is 1 to 7. We overlap, so then staff that have students in other buildings can attend the conferences. So it's nice to have a little difference there between the 2 buildings. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks. I'm guessing we don't have principals report because we seem to just have had a meeting. Okay. All right, we will move on. Consent items. Item A, approve board meeting minutes, December 14th, 2022, regular meeting. B, financial claims, December bills. C, treasurer's report. D, accept donations, student account, $100, Laura Klimick. Viking Boutique, $100, Laura Klimick. PRHS Scholarship Fund, $50, John and Bonnie McGregor. Item E, personnel. Approve the resignation of Rebecca Castillo as elementary special education paraprofessional and approve the hire of Steve Barsness as full-time custodian. Do we have a motion to approve the consent items?
I make a motion to approve the consent items as read.
Motion by Brenda, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Molly. Any discussion on the consent items? Hearing no discussion on the consent items, all those in favor of approving the consent items signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same. Consent items carry. Item 10, business items. Item A, approve the resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions and reasons thereof. We've done this every year since I've been here, I believe, so doesn't necessarily mean there'll be any cuts, but.
Correct.
So we'll entertain a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions and reasons therefore.
A motion by Ann, do we have a second? Second by Greg. So this is a resolution, I'll quickly read it. Resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions and reasons therefore. Is it just the highlighted I should read, or I could read the whole thing?
They said you don't have to read the whole thing if it's summed up in that paragraph.
Okay. I'll just read it. Whereas if the financial condition of the school district dictates that the school board must reduce expenditures immediately, and whereas if there has been a reduction in student enrollment, and whereas if the reduction in expenditures and decrease in student enrollment must include discontinuance of programs and discontinuance or curtailment of program, and whereas if a determination must be made as to which teachers' contracts must be terminated and not renewed, and which teachers may be placed on unrequested leave of absence without pay or fringe benefits, and affecting discontinuance of positions. Be resolved by the School Board of Independent School District 548 as follows, that the school board hereby directs the superintendent of schools and administration to consider the discontinuance of programs or positions to effectuate economies in the school district and reduce expenditures, and as a result of reduction in enrollment, make recommendations to the school board for discontinuation of programs, curtailment of programs, discontinuance of positions, or curtailment of positions. So this is the resolution. Molly, how do you resolve?
Yes.
Brenda?
Yes.
Yes. Ann?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Okay, resolution carries. Item B, approve the first and second reading of policy 101. Do we have a motion for that?
I'll move to approve first and second reading of policy 101.
Okay, motion by Greg. We have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Stacy. Any discussion on the first and second reading of policy 101? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same. Motion carries. C, approve the first and second reading of policy 103.
I'll make a motion to approve the first and second reading of policy 103.
Motion by Brenda, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Molly. Any discussion on policy 103? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same. Motion carries. And last item up in business, approve the first and second reading of policy 104.
Make a motion to approve the first and second reading of policy 104.
Motion by Ann, do we have a second?
I'll say.
Okay, a second by Molly. Any discussion on policy 104? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same. Motion carries. Last up is upcoming meetings. We have an MSBA conference next week, January 12th and 13th. February 15th, we have our regular meeting. Monday, March 20th, we also have our regular meeting. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Greg. Second. Second by Ann. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same. We're adjourned.